Carlos Vivas has lived an extraordinary life. He's been swimming in synchronicities ever since surviving an unbelievable near-death experience in 2015. But that wasn't the first time he defied the odds. At the age of 14, he beat cancer after being told he had only 3 months to live. You could read all about his journey in his book Help from Heaven. It's a fascinating read that explores the intersection of the physical and spiritual worlds, reminding the reader that we truly are not alone. Enjoy the conversation with Carlos Vivas. Welcome, Carlos. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, David, for inviting me to your program. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you.
Man, what a journey you have been on.
Yep.
Yep.
What can I say?
What can you say? Well, I'm sure you've got a lot to say. So you've had two really big encounters that I've heard of, and it started when you were a child. So I'd love for you to go ahead and dive in and share what happened.
Okay, well, this is my story. When I was 14 years old, I started feeling bad. One day, I was going to school and I feel like dizzy, and I didn't want to tell anything to my parents because my mom was very strict, very harsh with me and my sister. I study on a Catholic school with nuns, and they were very strict too. So I said, like, if I say something, they're gonna come to me. I'm gonna say that I don't want to go to school. So I said, maybe this is gonna pass. So weeks start passing. I started getting worse and worse and worse and worse until one day I was waiting for the bus stop for the bus to arrive to go to school, and I have a blackout. And when I have the blackout, I said, you know what? Tonight I have to say something to my mom because something really bad's gonna happen, and maybe I'm gonna die and never gonna know what happened. So that night, after school and after work, when my mom got home, I just told her, Mom, I need to talk to you. This is serious. I don't know what's going on with me, but we need to go to a doctor. I've been feeling really bad lately. I've been holding it for a month. I didn't want to say anything to you because I didn't want to worry her. She was a single mom too. So she said, okay, what's going on? So I tell her all the symptoms that I feel. I said, okay, we need to go to a doctor. Let's talk to your dad, and we go. Made the story short, we went to 10 doctors. All the doctors said, you know what, we cannot say what he had because we're not a specialist. So at the end of 10 doctors, all the doctors said the same thing. You need to visit a doctor that he's an eminence of on what Carlos have, and he's the only that can say what he had. So we went to this doctor at the end, and the doctor was an hematologist. So it was a doctor that checked your blood. And when he started doing all the exams, he came with the results like, Carlos, there is something really bad. I don't know what's going on here, but you are very young. And he practiced like 3 or 4 tests with me. And the last test, he said, okay, just go inside of my office. And the last test is going to be some shots that I'm going to put in your bag. So he put anesthesia on my bag. Then he said, go to the little bed that I have in my office there. Wait for me there. I'm going to come with 2 nurses. So 10, 15 minutes later, he come. And I said, just look at the wall. Nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be fine. And then I hear a drill. Zzz, and he started drilling my back. Zzz. I said, doctor, what are you doing? I said, well, it's a test and it's going to be quick. So he drilled the back. I didn't feel anything because I have anesthesia in the back. And then he said, okay, the test is done. Everything's going to be fine. So he put alcohol in my bag. He rubbed with alcohol. He put a Band-Aid and said, just wait outside with your dad and your mom. And I have the results in a few minutes. So just wait for me. So I don't remember, like 20, 30 minutes later, the doctor come and I say, okay, I got the results. You can come to my office and we can discuss this, your mom and your dad. I say, okay, cool. So my mom and my dad entered to the office. My mom was sitting in front of me, my dad next to me. I was standing in the background. It was the desk, and the doctor sit down with a little glass with a pink cotton inside. And the doctor said, well, I have the final test, and this is the bone marrow sample. It's called the biopsy of the bone marrow. And he looked at me and said, like, Carlos, I'm sorry, but I have bad news for you. You have 3 months to live. I was like, what? 3 months to live? What are you talking about? I said, well, you have something really bad. You guys came too late to me. I helped so many people, and that's why all the doctors sent it to me. But there is nothing I can do. You have a terminal cancer. It's called leukemia, and there is nothing else we can do. I'm sorry. This is it. And in that moment, as soon as the doctor said that, I heard for the first time a voice inside of me that he said, he don't have the last word. I have. And I was like, what was that? But I didn't want to say anything to my mom, because if my mom hear me, she's going to slap me on my face. It was like, jeez. So I didn't say anything. And the doctor started discussing with my mom. My mom started crying. My dad started crying. I was shocked in the background, like, what's going on? Like, this is happening to me? And then my mom grabbed the doctor and said, Doctor, come on, you have to save my son. You have sons and daughter too, and you will go to the end of the world to save your sons and daughters, right? And the doctor said, yes, but there is nothing I can do. Yes, you have to do something. So my mom was like, he have to do something. And I was, Mom, just leave it alone. I mean, he already told you. He didn't, no, he knows. So he was looking the doctor in the eyes like, come on, tell me there is something. And guess what? The doctor said, okay, sit down, your mom and dad, and I just gonna, let's discuss this. I have two options. Number one, we can go to Houston, Texas and do a bone marrow transplant. And my mom said, how that work? Well, we travel to Houston, we get an organ donor. And my mom said, how much that's gonna cost? And the doctor said, well, that's gonna be very expensive. Maybe you're gonna have to sell your house, your cars, and everything you have in order to pay for this surgery. And my mom said, but if I sell everything, will you save my son? And the doctor said, well, we don't know, because it's like 50-50 chance. So my mom said, like, I don't like that one. What is the second option? The second option is going to France and get a formula that I'm working with another doctors. And he can, if you bring the formula to Carlos, he can start taking the formula and maybe start working on his leukemia. So my mom used to work on the Air Force. Her boss going to France, get the formula. This is making the story short. So go to France, get the formula, and I start getting the formula, right? And the doctor said, Carlos, you need to be 3 months at home taking this treatment. You need to be connected to an IV with a bag, with a cocktail of some substance that he's going to send me, and the formula that you're going to be taking. I said, okay, that's fine. So I started taking this formula for the first month. It was a kind of chemotherapy on pills. And for the first month, nothing happened. So when I went finally to the doctor the first month to take some exams, the doctor said, you know what, Carlos, this is not working. But we need to finish the treatment and see what's going to happen at the end. So, well, when the doctor said that to my mom and my dad, that it wasn't working, my mom and dad were like crying and all this, and I feel horrible. And then one day I was by myself at home. I say, wait a minute, I have an idea. I have an uncle that he's like Donald Trump. He have a lot of money. He's a real estate. He sell business, malls and all this. So let me give him a call, but let me ask permission to my mom. So I asked my mom, do you think there's any way that I can call my uncle and ask for like if he can give us some money and we can do this surgery? And my mom said like, no, never in a million years, because you don't know your uncle, okay? So don't even think about it. So don't worry, just wait for the treatment to end. I said, but mom, I said like, nope. I said, okay. But then one day my mom goes to work, my dad goes to work, and I'm thinking in my house all day. It's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna die. They're not gonna die. I'm gonna call my doctor, my uncle. So I call my uncle. Hey, uncle, it's Carlos. How you doing? This is happening to me. Please, I need your help. Is there any way that you can help me? I asked him for if he can borrow some money, and I said I can pay you for the rest of my life. It's my life that is this is happening. And I said, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. And he hung up. In that moment, that's when the first miracle showed up. Why? Because in that moment, I feel like the whole world came down to me. Like everything turned black. I said, okay, this is it. I'm gonna die, I guess. But then I said, wait a minute. I'm in a Catholic school, and they say if you pray with all your heart, there is a God that if you believe in Him, He can save you for anything. So in that moment, I went to the middle of the living room, and I go on my knees and go to the floor. I said, okay, God, let's do something here. Let's make a deal right here. If you save me with this cancer, I promise you, I'm gonna tell the whole world that you're real, because there are some people that don't believe in you. So if you really help me and take this out of me, I promise you, I'm gonna go everywhere. I'm gonna tell everywhere. I'm gonna be a living proof that you saved me. I have to tell this to the world. And I said, I make that promise. And after that day, every day I started making declarations. And nobody told me that, this just came to me. Like, I'm healthy, I'm completely recuperated. I mean, like every day and every time I feel better and better and better. That was every day, and I was praying morning, afternoons, at night, and I was saying all the time, "Thank you for my healing, thank you for my healing, thank you for my healing, God." All the time, and I was happy, and I was feeling everything in every inch of my body. I was feeling happy that something was happening. I was feeling so. A month passed, another month passed, and then the doctor called my mom and said, okay, it's time to get the final exams for Carlos because he finished treatment, so he come to the hospital. So me and my mom, my dad were going to the hospital. They put me on the CT scan. It's a big machine that you go lay down, and it's like scan all your body. And then when I get out of the scan machine, the CT scan, the doctor came with the result, and he said, like, I don't know what happened, but the cancer disappeared. So my mom was like, "Oh my God, this is a miracle, doctor! Oh my God, this is amazing!" And the doctor have a long face, like a bulldog face, and so like, "No, this is not a miracle. We don't believe in miracles, and this is called remission." And sometimes in remission, when the cancer disappears, is because we put too many chemicals on Carlos' body, and he disappeared. But then it's gonna come back worse. So I don't believe that. And in that moment, I heard the voice inside of me again saying, don't worry, this will never happen again.
Mm.
So from that day until today, everything has been clear, and I've been completely healed and never again. Yeah.
Wow, Carlos, that's incredible. Like, so, okay, the voice that you heard, we
Uh
all have
huh.
an inner voice. Everybody has
Yeah.
an inner voice, the
Yeah.
intuition, most of the time we don't listen to it.
Yeah.
We don't listen to that voice. It's very subtle.
Yeah.
Now, how is the voice that you heard different from that inner voice?
That this voice was like louder than the inner voice. That's what I knew that was something else that wasn't me. And that's when I heard that I said like, okay, something is going on right here. And the second time it was the same louder voice inside of me. I said like, this is not me. This is something else. So this is God. And yeah, and I heard that voice many times after that, and it's been amazing. Yeah.
Were you scared at first when you heard it?
No. Mm-mm.
It would,
I mean, the first time that I heard it, I wasn't scared. I was like, where did that came from? I was like trying to figure it out. I wasn't scared. I was like, where? But I said, if I say something, my mom is just going to slap me in my face because my mom was very strict. So I said, like, I better keep it quiet and swallow it. Because, I mean, that was in the 80s, 90s, and it was another time. Parents were more strict in that time. No, it's not like right now. More
right.
quiet.
Now, was it a male voice? Was it a female voice? Was
Male
it
voice. It was a
male
male
voice?
voice, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said when you started bargaining with God, you're like, okay, if you save me, I will, tell everybody. And then you said you started making declarations every day. So
Yeah.
was that is that like affirmations? Like
It was
I'm
visualizations. I never heard what a visualization was. So I was visualizing myself healing every part of my body. I was putting my hands in every part where the doctor said the cancer was, and I was feeling, and this just came to me. I was feeling every cell of my body was getting healed, and I just feel all over me that everything was working well, and everything was was, I mean, giving the best inside of my body. I mean, all my cells were working inside of myself. And I don't know how I made this up, but that was what I was feeling every day. And I was praying and praying and praying. I have a lot of faith, and I think the faith moved mountains, you know? And for me, it was like a fire inside of me. Like, I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get out of this. And every time that I visit patients at hospitals and I tell my story, I always tell them, look, you need to have faith in this. This is, you're going to get out of this. Most of the time, patient, when they hear the story, they're like, no, it's too late. I cannot do anything. So they block themselves. When the doctor told me, you know, you have 3 months, I put a barrier in front of me. It's like, no, like an ice wall. Like, this is not going to affect me. I refuse this, and I'm not going to die with this, you know. That was what I feel in that moment. And I tell everybody that hear my story, same thing. When you hear the doctor say something, put something like, no, now it's my turn to heal myself, you know. And with your visualizations, uh, repeating every day, I'm going to get healed, everything is fine. That's what I did. That's my experience.
That's
Um, yeah.
that's amazing because like that's so new age. That's like, like the conversation that's happening now, like the law of
I was
attraction,
14 years
visualization.
old.
And who
Yeah.
who knew that? And no one knew that in the 90s.
No, and like I said, I was in a Catholic school, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what I feel. I mean, it just came to me, like, just do this, and I was like, okay. Well, I started declaring that, and
Wow.
of course, I was praying a lot too. So I was praying to God, like, God, please make this miracle happen to me, and I promise, I promise, I promise, and that's why after this happened with 14 years old, I got healed, but I never kept my promise because I was a kid, you know. That's why later, fast forward in time, I had my second accident, and that's when Jesus like, hey, I've been waiting. What happened?
All right,
Because
so let's go. Let's dive into that because I was going to ask you, did you keep your promise? What happened?
well, exactly, I was a kid. I never kept my promise until later in life, you know.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. My second story. It was 2015. I wake up early that day. It was sunny. It was a Saturday. I go to my living room. I jump into my sofa. I open the windows and I turned the TV on, and it was a massacre on the TV. Out of a school, the guy was killing some kids, and I feel horrible. In that moment, I say, okay, I turn off the TV off. I say, okay, God, this is it for me. If you don't tell me right now why these crazy people is killing kids, that they're innocent souls, I don't want to believe in you because I feel horrible. How this is happening in this world? How this world is getting so crazy right now? But I never knew in that moment that saying this from the bottom of my heart, I'm gonna get a response. In that moment, my cellular phone rings, and it was one of my best friend, Jorge. He's from Colombia, and he's like, Carlos, what are you doing right now? I said, well, I just wake up and watching TV. Like, hey, what are you gonna do next weekend? It's gonna be Memorial Day, and me and my family were going to Panama City Beach in Florida. You wanna come? I said, yeah, sure, let's go. So we traveled to Panama City that Memorial Day weekend 2015. When we arrived to the first beach, it was beautiful. It was packed with people. We go to another one, it was packed. We went to a third one, it was packed. And I say to the guys, look, I've been coming here for more than 10 years. Let's go to a national park. It's called San Andreas State Park. And we go there and we get a boat and we go to an island. In the island, I don't think it's going to be too many people because you have to pay $20 per person. So let's go there. So at the end, we finally go to San Andreas State Park. We get the boat and we go to the island. When we arrived to the island, the bay side of the island was packed with people. So my friend Carlos, look here too. I was like, okay, don't worry, let's go to the other side of the island. So we went to the other side. We started walking to the other side, and there was a guy. Like, we're passing all these people going to the back of the island. The bay side is where everybody was swimming. The other side, it was open ocean. There was nobody there. So when I was crossing to the other side, there was a guy with 5 kids. Like, excuse me, sir, where are you going? I said, go to the other side. He's like, why are you going to the other side? Everybody's here. I said, like, sorry, this is packed. We just want to see the ocean and have a good time. I mean, this is too many people here. So, okay, be careful because it's dangerous there. I said, oh, it's okay. No, nothing's going to happen. That's what I thought. Anyways, we arrived to the other side. There was nobody there. I have a tent, so I told my friends, okay, let's open the tent, put the chairs, put the music, and when I opened the tent, the wind started blowing really harsh. And for 45 minutes, we're trying to put the tent down. That was like a red flag, like, don't stay here, get out of here. But I didn't listen, you know. And finally, after 45 minutes, we finally put the tent there and we stayed there from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. We have an amazing day. At 4 p.m., my friend said, Carlos, we want to walk around the island before we leave. The last boat will leave at 5:30. I said, okay, you guys hurry up. In 45 minutes, you need to go back here because we need to pack and then go back to the boats. I said, okay, cool. So they leave me alone. They walk away. And as soon as they walk away, I was by myself in the tent. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to jump into the water and I'm going to swim. I'm not afraid to swim because when I was a child, I used to be in a swimming team and I used to compete. So I didn't think nothing bad is going to happen or nothing. So I just jumped into the water. I was swimming and out of the sudden, this whirlpool under the water grabbed me and pushed me all the way under the water, far, far away. If people that are watching this program saw the movie Finding Nemo, you can see in the movie that there is a whirlpool. It's called the riptide. Grab all the fishes and pull it far, far away from the coast, right? So this riptide took me like, I don't know, half a mile from the island. And when I finally, yeah, it was super fast. So when I pulled my head out of the water, the island was like this. I was like, how in the world I'm here? How I get here? Like, I couldn't understand. So fast and so far. And then I said, okay, I don't want to worry. I don't want to panic. I just want to start swimming back to the shore. So I start swimming. And then I pulled my head out of the water and it wasn't the same point. Like nothing happened. And then I tried to swim faster. And I go back. I mean, the ocean was taking me back and back into the ocean more. So I was just wasting my time. And after 20, 30 minutes fighting, and I didn't know what a riptide was, and I didn't know that you cannot fight with a riptide. So after 20, 30 minutes fighting, I said, you know what? This is it. Nobody's going to see me. It's about to be 5:30. The last boat is going to leave. My friends are not here. So this is it. I started getting cramps on my arms, on my legs. And in that moment, I said, you know what, God? If this is my final moment, I never in a million years thought that today is going to be my last day. So I just want to say, if you're going to take me, let me tell you my words before I go. I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for my mom. Thank you for my dad. Thank you for my brothers, my sisters, my friends, my family, everything that you gave me in this life. And I'm sorry if I did something wrong. And as soon as I said that, behind me, I heard a voice that said, ask for help. And I look everywhere and I don't see anyone. I was like, what? I was like, this is my imagination. And then I heard the voice again, ask for help. And I was like, are you kidding me? There is anybody here? Could you help me, please? Don't you see that I'm drowning here, please? Nothing. And then a few minutes later, again, I told you to ask for help. I was like, oh my God, okay. So for me, it was like wasting my time because the island was so far away that nobody's going to see me. I said, okay, I'm gonna drown even faster because all my energy is gonna go here. But I started screaming, help, help, help. Believe it or not, at the end of the island, one of my friends, Enrique, he came back from the group because he felt something was wrong. So he went back to the tent. He didn't saw me. He was walking on the shore. He didn't saw me there. So he went to the top of a hill. And then from the hill, he saw me. He said, like, Carlos. He started jumping. Carlos, I'm going to call 911. Hold on. He didn't call 911. He went back to the tent. He grabbed some tubings. He went to the top of the hill and he started dropping the tubings from the top of the hill. But the tubings were flying back to him because the wind was back to him. I was like, oh my God, this is not working. Hold on. He ran to the other side of the island. He grabbed people that was boarding the boats going back to Panama City. A lot of people come. 6 guys jump from the rocks. Everybody starts swimming my way. Everybody trying to rescue me. But nobody could reach me. Like, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes pass. And I start seeing everybody start turning around. So why are they turning around? And then I heard a thunder behind me. Vroom. And then when I look back, everything, the whole sky was turning black and a big thunderstorm was coming. So big waves were coming behind me. And I was like, well, they're not going to save me because they don't know me. They're not going to sacrifice their life for somebody they don't know.
Mm.
And I said, okay, God, you know what? This is it for me. If you want to take me now, I'm ready. So just take me, like this is it. I'm just going to surrender. And I make a pause every time that I said this because how many times in your life you're fighting with your school, with your job, with your partner, with your friends, with your family, and you don't find a way to get out. And the only thing that you have to do is surrender. So when you do surrender, is when everything dissolves and just let God take over.
Mm.
And that's what I did in that moment. When I did in that moment, I surrendered. A big wave came and crushed me all the way under the ocean. And when I was under the water, I opened my eyes. And far, far away, I see this black shadow that's coming my way. So I thought, oh my God, shark. So I covered my eyes, like, oh, just waiting for the bite. Just waiting. But guess what? This thing come under me, grabbing by my stomach, and pushed me all the way to the top. And guess what it was? When this thing pulled me out of the water, it was a huge gray dolphin. I couldn't believe it. I never been that close to a dolphin. I grabbed the dolphin by the fin and I started crying because I couldn't believe that this dolphin saved me there. He didn't move. He just was watching me. I just was watching his eye. I was like, how do you know? How do you save me? So I was telling this to the dolphin. And the dolphin stayed just there staring at me, just holding me for like 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, a fisher boat showed up in front of me. And the guy said, son, I can save you, but I cannot get close to you. I said, like, what? I said, like, don't worry, I'm gonna throw you a rope. So he threw me a rope. I go to the boat with the rope. The dolphin is still next to me. And when I finally get to the boat, I just get some air. I'm like, because I was super tired. And then the guy started screaming, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, like, sir, I'm super tired. I've been here for like 30 minutes. I said, like, no, but you don't understand. You need to get in right now. I said, like, why, sir? I'm super tired. I have cramps all over my body. I said, like, yes, I understand, but my body's sinking. I said, your body's sinking? What?
No.
I said, like, yes, I have a pump and the pump is stopped and all the waves, they're getting inside of my boat and the whole boat is getting floated. So you need to go to the back of the boat. There are some steps in the water. Just jump in and get in. I said, okay. So I go to the back of the boat. I see the steps. I jump in and the boat was like this of water. I said, sir, do you have any bucket? I take the water out. I said, like, no, we don't have time for that. Come on, sit down next to me. So I sit down next to him. He put a towel over me and then he asked me, are you okay? I said, yes, sir. What happened? Well, a riptide brought me all the way here. And then he asked me, what is your family? What is your friends? I said, everybody's there. Okay, let me ask you a question. This guy said to me, I said, yes, sir. Where are you from? I said, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. What about you? I said, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia too. I said, like, what? What part? And I said, I'm from Duluth. What about you, sir? I'm from Norcross. Duluth and Norcross are in front of each other. So I was like, wow, we're even neighbors. I was like, oh my God, yeah, this is crazy. And then he started screaming. I was like, oh my God, look behind you, look behind you. I was like, what are you talking about? And when I looked behind me, he grabbed his camera, he started filming. I didn't know what he was looking behind me. When I looked behind me, the dolphin started jumping behind of the boat. And I was like, what? So the dolphin followed us all the way around the island to the bayside. When we arrived to the bayside, the guy said, okay, son, I have to leave you right here because I need to fix my boat. But if you want to see me again, every Memorial Day, I'm going to be right here. You can see my boat and you can say hi to me. I say, okay, sir. Well, thank you so much. God bless you. I jump off the boat. He started going away and I started walking to the shore. In that part of the bayside, nobody was there because everybody ran to the other side of the island. So when I was walking to the shore, something hit my leg. And when I looked back, guess what? The dolphin was there. I was like, what? Oh my God, what this dolphin wants with me? And the dolphin went all the way with me to the shore. So when I get to the shore, I was so broken inside of me. I mean, just crying, like, what was this is happening to me? What is this happening to me? Like, what God wants with me? So I go on my knees and I make a promise right there. I say, okay, God, you know what? This is it for me. If you save me with this dolphin right here, it's because you have a purpose for my life. I don't know what do you want from me, but I'm going to tell you something. From today, Carlos died into the ocean. The person who's coming out of the water is not Carlos anymore. It's going to be you. I'm going to give you my life. I'm going to give you my soul. And I'm going to give you everything I have to you. And you come to me and do whatever you have to do through my soul. And in that moment, it started raining, thundering, lightning. So I took that as a yes. After that happened, the dolphin leave. People run from the other side of the island. All my friends get there. Everybody start hugging me, crying. Then the police arrive. I have to sign the police report. They take me back to the island. I speak with management. Management asks me like, "What's going on? What happened?" I said, "What happened is like it's Memorial Day. You don't have lifesavers there, and you have to take care of that. You don't have the red flag that it said the ocean is dangerous. I didn't know. I thought it was normal. You need to put that flag there." And they apologized. I said, "Don't worry, we're gonna work on that." I said, "Yeah, and you need to put the signs where it's a riptide because I didn't know what a riptide was. I don't live on the beach." But that will help. Not just me, more people that come after me. And after that, everybody said, like, "Carlos, what do you want to do now?" So I want to go to church because this was a miracle, and I want to say thank you to God. So we get out of the national park, the San Andreas State Park, and the first church that we saw next to the park, it was a Catholic church. When we enter into the Catholic church in the parking lot, we get out of the car and we go into enter to the church. The church was closed, but next to the church was a chapel. It was like a cave, and inside of the cave was Virgin Fatima. So everybody that came from the beach, plus my friends, we did a huge circle and we hug each other and we pray for 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. And after we pray, my friend's like, "Carlos, what do you want to do now?" I said, "Well, I just want to go back to the hotel, take a shower, and get something to eat and go to sleep." So that's what I did. When I get to the hotel, get shower, get something to eat, and I went to sleep. And as soon as I put my head on my pillow, I have an epiphany. I didn't know what epiphany was. I thought this was a dream. So it was like a vision. So I see myself on the third floor of a cruise, Caribbean cruise in the Caribbean. And in front of me is the blue ocean, blue skies, sunny day. But at the end of the ocean, I see a tsunami rising, coming my way. I was like, "Oh my God, tsunami." So I covered my face, just waiting for the impact. And 5, 10, 30 minutes passed. Like, what's going on? Nothing happened. And then somebody behind me touched me. It's like, "Hey, Carlos, wake up and look at me." I said, like, "No, no, no. Look, we're about to die." I said, "No, Carlos, look at me." He's like, "No, no, look, look." And then he said, "Carlos, you're never going to die with me." I said, like, "Who are you?" I said, "Come on, look at me, look at me." And so when I looked back, I couldn't see his face, but I felt in that moment was Jesus, his presence. It was just light coming from his face. He was dressing with a white robe. He was taller than me. And then he said, "Close your eyes, please." So I closed my eyes. He hugged me from behind. And as soon as he hugged me from behind, 10 seconds passed. And he said, "Okay, Carlos, open your eyes." So when I opened my eyes, I was in heaven. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm dead. This means that I'm dead." Like, "No, no, no, no. You need to take me back. I have a lot of things to do. I cannot die right now." I said, "Carlos, calm down. You're fine. Okay. Welcome to heaven." From this moment, you're part of me and part of all of them. I said, "A part of who?" So when he said a part of all of them, when he said all of them in front of me, millions of people show up in white robes and everybody was glowing. I was like, "Wow." And I said, "Yes, from this moment, you start walking with me and walking with all of them. Do you have any questions?" I said, "Yes." I said, "What's your question?" I said, "Well, where all these people come from? There's too many people there." I said, "Well, they're coming from all over the world." I said, "Okay, I have another question." I said, "Yes, there are 50,000 religions all over the world. And I always wondering what is the true religion." I said, "Well, the only thing that I can tell you is when you come to heaven, there is no religions in heaven. When you come to heaven, the only thing that you're going to find here is the love of God. The love of God is the most powerful force in the universe, and that's what I'm going to unite the whole humanity in one again." You
Wow.
understand that? The other was like, "Yeah, wow, yeah." And then he said, "Okay." So he put his arm over me and said, "Okay, let's do a live review." I was like, "What is that?" So in that moment, he put like his hands like this, and then videos of all my life start passing like a Macintosh computer. So I see all my life from my childhood till now. And the way that you see your life is the way that the other, everything you did, you're going to feel what other people felt because of your actions.
Mm.
So whatever you did to other people, that's what you're going to feel in you. So you're going to feel how their actions affect their lives. And Jesus wasn't judging me or anything. That was for me to see how affect every life on earth. So after he passed me all the movie and after I felt everything, he said, "Okay, we're done here. You need to go back and tell everybody what happened here, okay?" I said, "Okay, God." Jesus. And in that moment, he pushed my back and I went back. Next morning, I wake up, I was like, wow, what a dream, you know? So I tell all my friends what happened. I said, wow, Carlos, it was a wild dream. So yeah, I know, right? Guess what happened? We go back to Atlanta. I arrive to my job on Monday. And when I get to my office, I've been working there for almost 20 years. And I work with other managers. And I tell my friend, my other managers, guys, guess what happened this weekend? I went to the beach, Panama City in Florida, and guess what? A riptide took me and pushed me far, far away, and I was saved by a dolphin. And everybody like, yeah, right, a dolphin. And then somebody behind me said, I believe you. And when I looked back, was my boss. I said, why do you believe me and they don't believe me? My boss said, because all of them, they're atheists. I'm a Christian. Number two, I want you to go on your computer and Google how many people get saved by dolphins in history, in human history. So then I Googled it. A lot of people has been saved by dolphin in human history. So I didn't know that. Now he said, now Google how many people die in the United States every year by riptides. Then I Googled more than 100 people die every year in the United States. And he said, now Google the dolphins still saving people. How many dolphins get killed every year all over the world? So I put there 100,000 dolphins. And then he said, now Google, the last one, what is the meaning of the dolphin for Christians? I was like, what? And then I Googled that, and the meaning of dolphin for Christians, it means Jesus. And I was like, this is crazy. I never thought that, it's the resurrection of Jesus. I was like, wow, that was wild. I never in a million years will I thought that. So that happened on Monday. On Wednesday, because one of my jobs is doing insurance claims, I have to go to a customer house because one of my employees broke a lamp in the basement. So I go to this customer. Customer was cooking some pasta, and the customer, Carlos, come on, get inside of my house. Like, I'm cooking right now. Could you go to the basement and take care of that? You have to go downstairs, turn the lights. When you get to the last room, you will see the lamp at the end of the hallway. You will see a lamp in the corner. So, okay, cool. So I go by myself, turn the lights. And when I get to the last room, that I turn the light and see the lamp, that it was broken. Next to the lamp was a huge painting on the wall. And guess what's the painting on the wall? It was all the scenes that I have with Jesus in heaven and dolphins at the bottom. I wasn't there. It was just Jesus, millions of people in the background, heaven, and at the bottom of Jesus, it was the ocean and dolphins around Jesus. And this was very overwhelming for me because I said, like, what? And in that moment, I said, okay, God, hold on. This is too fast for me. I mean, and I start crying because it was overwhelming. And then the customer come downstairs and it's like, Carlos, what happened? It's like, where do you get this painting? I was like 3 days there and you have this painting in your basement. I said, well, yeah, a friend of my family came 3 years ago with a huge canvas and he did this painting for my family. And we keep it in here because this is the only place that it fit in in our house. But come on, let me turn the lights and you can admire the whole painting. So I was there for a while just watching the painting. That was on Wednesday. On Thursday, I called one of my best friends and I told the story and said, like, Carlos, you need to go to church. You need to tell people what's going on. And I was like, you kidding me? Do you think I'm going to be telling people what happened to me? Who's going to believe me? I mean, you know how many haters are out there? Like, no, 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 no. Like, and my friend was like, no, Carlos, this happened to you because you need to tell people, please, please, please. So for 1 hour, I was talking to him. He convinced me. I said, okay, what do you want me to do? Okay, on Sunday, come to my house. We get breakfast and then we go to church. I said, okay, that's fine. So on Sunday, I live in Duluth. He lives in Woodstock, so I have to drive 1 hour. So when I drove there, he's, I get to his house. His name is Alejandro and his wife, Genesis. And when I get there, they have the breakfast. We eat breakfast. And when we finish, he said, okay, what church you want to go? I said, like, doesn't matter because Jesus told me when you get to heaven, there is no religion. So any religion you want, like any church that you find is good. I said, okay. So we Google a church close to his house. It was a Catholic church too. It's called St. Michael the Archangel in Worcester. When we start going that way, he never been there, I never been there. When we going to that church and when we are parking on the parking lot, it was hundreds of cars there, huge parking lot, and everybody was celebrating something. It was music and it was a lot of people, balloons and stuff. It's like, what's going on here? I asked a lady next to my car, and she said, well, this used to be a little church, but today they're inaugurating a huge church, like a mega church, like a cathedral. And you guys came just in time to see the inauguration of the church. So, okay, cool. So we go into the inauguration, we see the whole thing. And at the end, I said to my friend, look, let me ask the priest if I can tell my testimony. So I went to him and said, excuse me, do you think at the end of the inauguration I can tell my story? He said, sure, just wait at the end and I called you. So, okay. So at the end, he called me. For the first time, I go to a stage with a microphone. I start telling my story. I was nervous. 500 people in front of me. I was like, wow. So I'm telling my story. And in the middle of the story, a 17-year-old raised her hands and says, excuse me, sir, excuse me. I said, yes, I want to ask you a question. I said, sure, what's up? I said, how Jesus was with you? I said, he was behind me. Why? I said, why he was dressing a white robe? What he was doing? He was hugging me. I said, why do you ask me this question? I said, like, well, you need to see this. She was a very skinny girl, 17 years old, black blonde hair, and she put all the hair in front of her, and she said, you have to see this. So she turned around, and she have a printing in the back of the t-shirt. And this is the printing that she have in the back of the t-shirt. She said, like, what you described me is the same that I have in my t-shirt. It was this painting right here.
No way.
Yeah. So they say it was like that. I said, yep, it was exactly how Jesus grabbed me there. I said, okay. So everybody in church started murmuring like, oh my God, you guys planned this. You guys did it on purpose. I was like, number one, I'm not living this area. I never been in this church. I don't even know this girl. I never see that painting. So no, we didn't plan this. But I get off church. I go drive back home an hour. And when I get home and I go to my computer and I Google Jesus hugging a guy. And this painting from come with a story. And this is a story. In the year 1992, a famous painter called Thomas Blacher, he started doing fasting for 2 weeks. I started drinking water or praying and asking God, God, let me make the image of Jesus. So every time that somebody feel that they're alone, they don't have nobody, they are passing through divorce, to cancer, I mean, anything, they lost a family member or anything, they know that they're never alone. That Jesus is always behind taking care of them. They're always behind hugging you.
Hmm.
And this is how my story ends because when I was in heaven and before Jesus pushed me down, he said, Carlos, when you get to earth, you need to tell people they need to forgive 3 people. If they want to live this life completely, they need to forgive. I said, like, why, Jesus? Well, because more than 98% of people around the world have childhood trauma. I said, really? He said, yeah. And they need to forgive 3 people. I said, who they are? Well, number one, their parents, because it doesn't matter if they abandoned you, if they abused you, if they didn't like you, if they hit you, whatever they did the best they could to give you the best you have. They didn't have a manual to raise you. Number two, you need to forgive your inner child. What your inner child, whatever happened in your childhood, is not your fault. You was afraid, you was scared, and nobody could defend you. You was completely alone, like a baby. Number three, you need to forgive all the people that came to your life and harm you. Why? When you forgive your parents, your inner child, and the people that harm you, you're not forgiving them, you're forgiving yourself. In this moment, you open your heart and you throw away all the hate, all the resentment, and all the poison that you've been eating you for years, for everything that happened to you in your childhood. And from that moment, it's like you have a balloon with a string and you cut the string, you let the balloon go. So from that moment, you're free. And from that moment is when Jesus told me that's when you start living your purpose in life. Because everybody came to earth with a big purpose. And what is your purpose? Everybody have a treasure chest. When you open your chest, you have here a gift. And what is your gift? That's the best thing that you know that you do the best and nobody else can do what you do, Maybe you cook amazing. Maybe you dance amazing. Maybe, I don't know, you be an architect or a doctor or something that you know is your calling. And the second purpose that he told me, if you don't want to do your purpose, is called service. Why service? Because when you die, you're not going to take your house, you're not going to take your money, your Bitcoin, your clothes, your titles, anything. The only thing that you're going to take when you die is how many people you help, how many people you give shelter, food, how many people you love, what was the blueprint that you left on this earth. Look, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Princess Diana, Martin Luther King, what they did was service, and their service continued until today. And then my final question for everybody that is listening to me is, what are you doing today to leave a legacy of love? So when you leave this world, everybody's going to remember you for what you did, because everybody came here to give love, and what a beautiful thing that you leave a legacy so everybody can follow, like Princess Diana, like she left a legacy and everybody followed it. So what are you doing today to leave a blueprint on this earth, so one day when you go to heaven and they ask you, it was worth it for you to go to earth and did what you did, say yes, let me show you what I'm proud of, and you show everything you did on earth. And that's my story.
Carlos, it's beautiful. I'm
Mm-hmm.
speechless. The message is just, it's perfect. And yes, like, forgiveness is everything. And so many people think that forgiveness is about the other person, that you're condoning the bad behavior. And it's not
No,
about them. It's
no,
about you and the
no.
toxicity and the weight that you're carrying
You're
around
in a
every single
prison. You're
day.
in a prison. So
You're
when
in
you
a
forgive,
prison.
you open the prison and you escape. You are out. You're out of the prison. You are free to go,
Yes.
because you are carrying a lot of stuff inside of you. And until you don't open the prison and get out of the prison
Yep.
and let it go, the only person that is suffering is you. The other person, they are not suffering. It's
They're
only
not.
you. They're not. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So the only person I have to liberate is yourself.
Right.
So
It's
that's,
true.
yeah.
And it's a process. Some people have
It's
been,
not easy. Yeah.
it's not easy, especially for victims of abuse
Hmm.
and, people who went through awful things.
Hmm.
And, it's something that you have to discover yourself. It really is.
Hmm.
But once you let that go, there's so much freedom
Hmm.
on the other side of forgiveness. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
I
Thank you
think
for sharing
yeah,
that.
no, you're welcome. I think everybody needs to forgive right now. And I don't know, but after the pandemic, everybody get anger. You can see it on the streets. You can see it when people is driving. So I don't know what they need to forgive those 2 years they were inside of their houses,
Yeah.
but they need to open their hand and let it go.
Right.
I mean,
Oh, man. You know what I love about your experience
yeah.
is you met Jesus,
Hmm.
and Jesus didn't say, I am the only way, follow me, or you're not welcome here. Jesus said, there are no religions in heaven.
Hmm.
The only thing here is love,
Yeah.
and love is what is going to unite all of humanity.
Yeah. That's it.
Period.
That's it.
Period. It's just so
Simple.
perfect. It's
It's
simple.
simple.
And
Yeah.
yeah, you know, I had another guest on
Mhm.
who was raised evangelist,
Okay.
and I asked him. He went to heaven, and
Mhm.
he was surprised when he got there. He's like, "Cool, I'm Christian. I'll get right in." And he was surprised
Okay.
when he got there that that's not how it works.
Oh Lord.
And I asked him, "Well, what did they mention to you at all? Anything about religion?" And he said, "Yeah." He said that God didn't want there to be a time or place in history without its presence.
Oh
So that's
wow.
why God has many faces, and Jesus is one of many faces of
Faces.
the
Yeah.
divine.
Yeah.
As are you, Carlos. You are an
Yeah.
expression of the divine, and every
You
single
too.
person, and me, and every single person listening to this is an
Yes.
extension of God. There is no separation. We are always connected to God. We are God. in our form. You are God expressing itself as Carlos. I am God expressing itself as David.
We're made
And
by His image. You know, we're
right,
a particle of His light. You have a particle inside of you, so you're part
right.
of Him. So
It's
that's yeah,
yeah, but us humans, we tend to create God in our own image, and
yeah,
we
yeah,
think of God as being like this man, that this angry man who judges and like has a naughty and nice list
yeah.
and wants to punish you. And I love that about your life review is like you got to see everything that happened, and this happens to so many people that have
Oh,
NDEs is they go through their life and they experience the pain that they caused other
mhm.
people, and that happened to you, and you felt the suffering.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It wasn't God or Jesus being like, punishing you. You were like, oh, now I have the perception, now I know what it feels like to be on the other
Hmm.
side of that.
Hmm.
Oh, it's so
It's
beautiful.
for you to take consciousness. You know what you did, and you be a better person. That's what I feel in that moment. You know.
Right.
That's why from people that come from this near death experience, when they come back, I mean, you can interview more people. It's not just me. Your life around you change. You want to treat everybody with love. You want
Mm.
to live a different life. Like when I come back here, I say, like, you know what? I don't want to watch TV anymore. I don't want to watch the news anymore. Every time that I turn the news, everything is bad. Everything is horrible. I just separate for people a little bit, and I start going to waterfalls every weekend. I went to the beach. I went to mountains. So I was connecting with Mother Earth because I felt connected with nature. It was connecting with God, and I felt that in my heart. And I think I did it for 3 years, and it was amazing. It was really, really, really amazing.
So let me ask you, a
Uh-huh.
lot of people who have NDEs come
Mhm.
back with enhanced intuition or gifts that they didn't have before. Did you notice any changes when you came back from your near death experience?
Yes, number one is I can feel when I go to customers' houses when I'm doing my quality assurance, and they open the door. If they, I didn't know. Like the first time that it happened to me, customer opened the door, and I feel a wave that it came and hit me in my face. I was like, "What is this?" It was like a water, and then I realized this is good because I feel there was something good inside of this house. And I asked the lady, "Before I get inside of your house, do you pray a lot?" I said, "Like, yeah. How do you know?" I said, because that's what I felt. I feel there is some energy of praying here. And when I get inside of the house, this lady have Bibles everywhere and she's like praying all day. And it's like, yeah, I feel that. I can feel when something is good or bad when I enter into an area, into a house. Before I was very skeptic with stuff. Like if I have red flags and red flags and red flags and I didn't hear it. Now, if I see one signal, don't go this place, I just turn around and go back.
Yeah.
And what else happened to me? My car, and this happened to another people. I thought it was just to me. When I came back from this near death, my battery in my car died. So I went to change it. Then, like a week later, it died again. And I bought a new one and it died again. I was like, what is this? Like the car was overheating all the time, overheating, overheating, overheating. And then when I start doing these interviews too, people like the lights start flickering and stuff. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know what it is. And then I start hearing another people with another near death, and it happened to you. I was like, oh my god, thanks God, it's not me. It happened to another people too. So yeah, that happened. It was a little bit scared at the beginning, but then with time it was passing, passing, passing. And now nothing that happened to me, but I can feel energy when I go to a place, to a house. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can feel energy,
Mhm.
good, bad,
Mhm.
low vibration, high
Yeah.
vibration energy.
Mhm.
But the after effects of like messing with electronics and the lights, that doesn't happen as much anymore.
It went down a little bit,
Hmm.
but at the beginning it was crazy. It was crazy because I was burning everything, even the cellular phones was burning. So I don't know what it
Burning.
was going. Yeah, I mean the cellular phone like uh die on me. I didn't know why,
Mm.
and I have to change another cellular phone. So it happened with batteries and with my cellular phone. But like I said, I thought it was me, but then I saw another near death, and people were saying the same thing. I was like, oh, okay. So I
It's
guess this
super
is an
common.
effect. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I had a guest on, and we had to keep rescheduling because she has issues with electronics,
Yeah,
and yeah, that's wild.
I guess because you go to the light, you bring some light with you. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it's got a yeah something with your energy field for sure. Um, have you had any other like major like synchronicities or any other major events since the dolphin experience?
Oh yeah, I have so many experience. Since the dolphin, one of the biggest that I had was in 2017. I took my dad to Las Vegas because my dad wanted to go and see Sedona, Arizona, and everything from Vegas. So me and my sister, we traveled with my dad. My dad is almost 80 right now. And we took it there. We didn't get the casinos and see all that. I rent a car, and every day I was driving 4 hours to national parks and Grand Canyon, and then we have an amazing time. But the last day, after 7 days we stay there, I told my dad, look, tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up early, and I'm gonna walk on the strip of Vegas because I want to take pictures of the sunrise. And my dad said, okay, but you need to wake up early because we need to get out of the hotel at 9. I said, okay, I just wake up at 5 a.m., get out at 6, and taking pictures for an hour and then come back. I said, okay. So next morning I wake up, I made my coffee, I put the TV to my dad, the news and all that, and then I said, okay, Dad, I'll be back. I'm going downstairs to take the pictures and I'll be back in 1 hour. I said, okay, hurry up. So I go downstairs. When I get to the lobby, it was just three people there. Remember, it was Sunday, 6 a.m. And then I go to the streets. I start walking on the street and I noticed something that I didn't notice during the day. What happened is during the day was rivers of people walking back and forth all everywhere in the street of Vegas. But at that point, I see homeless everywhere. So in that moment, I said, God, like, how do you keep these people dying in front of this multimillionaire hotel? This is crazy. How these people is I don't understand how crazy is this that these people need some food, need some shelter, but they're in front of these super rich people in these rich hotels. Like this is doesn't have any sense. So I was in my head. I was like, how do you let this happen, God? Like, no, no, this is wrong. So for 1 hour, I was taking pictures of the hotels, and because I love to take pictures, my photographer too. And after an hour, my dad called me and said, like, Carlos, where are you at? I said, like, Dad, I'm just taking pictures. Like, no, 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 you need to go back because it's getting late. We need to get out of the hotel. We need to check out and all this. I said, okay, let me turn around. So I turned around. I went to the other side of the street, and I started walking back to the hotel. And I remember that I have to go to the last hotel was Caesar Palace. That's before my hotel. And when I was walking, I feel somebody behind me with a wooden shoes. And like I say, it was almost 7 a.m., but it was early in the morning. There was nobody on the street, just the homeless. So I started feeling this person behind me. So I started walking fast, and this person started walking fast. I started running, and this person started running. I was like, oh my God, he's going to steal my phone. So I start running, 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 and I start looking everywhere to see if I see a hotel door open or a restaurant door open, so I can jump in and scream, "Hey, help me! This guy's behind me! Follow me, please, please!" Nothing. Everything was closed, closed, closed. And then I get to the dead end of the street, and it was on escalators going up, and I have nowhere to go but jump into the escalators and run to the top of the bridge. So when I get to the top of the bridge and I look at it, it was a lot of homeless there. And I was like, oh my God, how you don't help these people? And I start running and the guy started running behind me too. And when I'm in the middle of the bridge, the guy stopped behind me. I said, stop right there, stop right there. I said, raise your hands up. I was like, sir, 6 a.m. on Sunday. I just have my cellular phone. Please don't kill me. I mean, I don't know what do you want from me. Like, are you serious? This is too early for this? And then the guy said, let me tell you something. Who do you think you are to let me know what I should do with the people in Vegas? Who do you think you are to let me know what I should do with the homeless on the streets? I cannot do anything. The only person can do something is you. You're gonna be my hands and you're gonna be my eyes. And at this moment, I almost peed my pants. I'm like, what? I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? So I didn't even want to turn around and see who was saying all this to me. And then he said, like, yes, that's what you're here for. And then I was like, what? Who is this? So when I look back, he was an executive guy with a green tuxedo, with a white shirt, with a black tie. He was a red hair guy, blue eyes. He was on his knees giving some money to a homeless. And then he looked at me and he said, I'm going to be watching you, so you better do a good job. And I see this guy and I was like, what? And I just run away from this guy. The guy's like, something came on him, and I guess transport these words on him. And then I just run away and I get to my room, to my dad's like that. I don't know what God wants with me, And but this is crazy. And after this experience, I was invited to a spiritual retreat, and I never been on a spiritual retreat, and I was refusing to go because I was full of work. At the end, I finished going to this retreat. When I get to this retreat, I was 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they said during this retreat a lot of miracles are going to happen. I said okay. So just to let you know, my miracle in this retreat, the priest said, I want everybody, that was the day before it ends, grab the Bible and put your hands on the top of the Bible and said, what do you want from God? What do you want to hear from God? What are you going to ask God? And he's going to give you an answer tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, right. So I put a Bible, I put my hands on the top and I said, okay, God, you know what? You've been manifesting so much in my life. I don't know what you want. Could you be more specific? I know that everybody's been telling me to write a book, but I don't know how to write a book. So if you really want something, just tell me more clear what you want, because I don't know what do you want. Anyways, next day we go get breakfast. Everybody, we were 50 men. This spiritual retreat for men, and then we go to a big room. It was like like a big room for like a weddings room. And the priest said, okay, there are 50 chairs inside of this room. They're all over the place. I want everybody of you to get in one by one, and you can sit whenever you want. Any seat you can grab. So everybody start getting in and grab their chairs. On the top of the chairs there were some manila envelopes. And then the priest said, okay, I'm going to tell you something. From now on, you're going to grab the manila envelope and start passing the manila envelope all over the room. So everybody start passing the manila envelope all over the room. And then after 30 seconds, he said, okay, open the manila envelope. And that's the answers that you need to know. I was like, okay. So I opened the manila envelope. Guess what was inside? Do you remember what was my question? I said, like, God, be clear. I know that you want me to write a book, but I don't know how to write a book. But just show me what you want and I'll do it. And inside of the book, there was some drownings for some kids. And this is what it was inside of the book. You see?
Inside of the manila envelope.
Yeah, manila envelope. Yeah, it was this.
That
was the book.
No way.
Yeah, it was Jesus coming out of the book. People from all over the world grabbing the book.
Carlos.
Yeah.
No way.
So I was like, what? The Holy Spirit right here. You see the Holy Spirit right here? Jesus coming out of the book. And I was like, okay. I guess this is clear, impossible, And then after this experience, I said, okay, God, like, look, I don't know how to write a book, so you have to put it in front of me. And I'll do it. And weeks later, I was invited by another friend. His name is Jose. And when I was in the middle of the meeting, somebody said in this meeting, it's like, who wants to write a book here? The guy who was making this meeting. And my friend Jose grabbed my hands, like, this guy right here. It's like, no. And then finally, they grabbed my number, and I signed all the paperwork for the course. It was Georgetown University course for the book. And there you go. This is my book.
There it is.
Hell from Heaven.
I have my copy right here.
There you go. You got your copy. Yeah. And finally, I made the book.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was amazing. This was being a ride for me. Like I never in a million years thought that my life is gonna turn like this. But it was. I guess it was the promise that I did when I was 14 years old. when I told God I'm going to tell the whole world, and I never did. And that's
Yeah.
why in 2015 that happened to me. I was like, okay, now you're going to tell the whole world. And so like, oh, okay. I didn't have any options. And well, the book is a part of that. The book is just to tell people my story and other stories that happened to me. I have a lot of miracles after this. I'm writing two more books. One is called I Found Jesus in Vegas for that thing that happened to
Yes.
me.
Mhm.
The other book is called Divine Miracles. So yeah, I'm working on that. But it's been magical. It's been amazing. And I'm nobody special. I'm like anybody else. I work 9 to 5 in an office. I'm like a regular person. And if you want to get in contact with God, with the divine, just speak from your heart. When you need to connect, just really feel it in your heart. And believe me, you're gonna have an answer. There is a lot of people that say, "Oh, I want to go through your experience. I want to be drowning." I'm like, "No, believe me, you don't want to be drowning, and you don't want to go through what I've been through in my life."
Yeah.
Everybody came, and everybody have their own experience because that's the way that they're gonna grow. It's
Yeah,
been amazing.
it sounds amazing. I mean, you're an earth angel. You're a messenger. That's what
So that's
you.
you.
I mean, how can we not share our experiences, right? It doesn't
Mhm.
serve anybody by holding it in, because someone's going to hear it and then it's going to inspire them to go out and live their truth and to live from their heart, and then they affect the next person and then they affect the next person, and that's how we spread love.
Well, I mean, all this was happening to me. It wasn't easy for me to swallow. So for me to take action on all this, it was like 5 years running away from everything because I didn't want to do this. And I was telling God, like, grab somebody else. I'm not the guy. Like, no, 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 no. I have work to do. I need to pay my bills. I need to work. I don't have time for this. But after 5 years, miracles and miracles and miracles. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And that's when I released the book, and everything came by myself. I mean, as soon as I released this book, I have another miracle with Mother Teresa, and I was invited with Mother Teresa house here in Atlanta. They have Mother Teresa came in 1995, inaugurate the charity of Mother Teresa. So they take women that are dying on the streets with
Mm.
terminal cancer and AIDS, and the nuns take care of them. And what was happening is they invite me to the church to tell my testimony there, and I forgot why I was telling you this for. Ah, well, anyways, in the book you're gonna. Well, I
Yeah.
guess you read it. You're gonna find a lot of stuff there
I
that I wrote. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I would say I know what happened.
Okay, you know what happened, and I have the
Yeah.
second part that it came
Yeah.
after that last year too.
That's awesome, man. That's just so great. You these synchronicities that show up for us, these signs, if you open yourself up to the signs, they
Oh
happen.
yeah.
And and it's like I find, like, if I journal too, and acknowledge the signs and the symbols and the synchronicity, and you give it more energy, and then they communicate.
Mm.
That's how spirit communicates, is through these synchronicities.
For me, it's been. I mean, like I said, like a wild ride. It's been amazing. It's been beautiful. And if for me it's been beautiful, could be beautiful for you and everybody that is watching. You need to open your heart and let God to get in and the divine to get in and feel this love and just be open to
That's
receive.
it.
That's it. Easy.
Carlos, do you mind if I ask, what is your
Sure.
spiritual practice?
Well, right now, I'm Christian. I just follow Jesus because that's what I saw on my near death. And since I was a child, I used to pray a lot to Jesus too. When I was getting bullied at school, there was a lot of bullying in school. I used to have a stamp of Jesus in my bag and in my back pocket, and I used to tell him like, "Why are these people is doing this to me? Like, why did I have to go through all this?" But I guess it was for me to get stronger because in the future this is what's going to happen. You know, that I'm going to be exposed to social media, and then there's people that believe or the people that don't believe. So I'm going to have to confront bully too in that way. And yeah, that's what happened.
What is God to you?
God to me, I feel is like is everywhere. It's like the sun. It's this energy that is everywhere for everybody. It's in the nature. It's in the air. It's in the water. It's everywhere. So it's nothing that we can put a label on this guy in the sky with a white beard and everything. No, he's everywhere. So God is the particle that create all of us, you know? So that's what I feel it is. This light that emanates from heaven that create Jesus and they create us. That's God for me.
That's beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Anything that I missed?
You didn't miss anything, brother. I just want to tell people that we don't came to this world by nothing. You know, there is a bigger energy that create all of us. You know, and I just say just trying to be nice right now because the world is changing so much right now, and you don't know the cross that everybody's carrying. So you need to be nice with everybody because you don't know how much these people or persons are suffering out there. But they have to put a smile in their face, but you don't know what they're carrying. So just be nice with everybody, give love to everybody, try to be the best version of yourself. And like my mom said, do it good. If you're not gonna do good, don't do it. You know, if you're gonna do something, do the best you can, and people is going to remember you for the way you are, you know, because you left something good in this world. Just be the best you can.
Amen, brother.
Yes, amen.
Amen. And where can people find you?
Well, you can go to my social media. I have two Facebook accounts. One is called Beyond Near Death Experiences on Facebook. The other is called Dolphins. You're gonna see me there. And I have www.helpfromheaven.org. www.helpfromheaven.org. That's my page, and you can find my book there. And my book is in Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Book a Million, Target, Walmart, everywhere. Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you
yeah.
again, Carlos. I really appreciate you sharing your beautiful story and your heart. You've got a beautiful heart, and I'm just so grateful for this conversation. Thank
Thank
you.
no, thanks to you, David, to invite me to your program, and I wish you the best. And I know that you're gonna be amazing. And I mean, you're open your heart the same way that I open my heart, you know. And people need this, so please continue doing this because you're gonna find amazing stories, and people need to hear this. This is the new thing that is coming too. This is part of the change right now too. You know, people instead of be watching TV, they're gonna be watching these videos because people is looking for the spirituality right now. You know, these
Right.
people that feel lost and they start asking answers, and I mean, they have questions and nobody's answering. And through these programs like yours, they're gonna have some answers. You know.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing this.
Hmm.
Just to give people hope.
There we go. Me too. Just give you hope.
Yeah.
You know that you're not alone.
We're not alone.
Never,
Never.
never,
Yeah.
never.
All
But
right,
yeah, thank
Carlos.
you.
Thank you again and have an amazing week.
Thank you too. And everybody that's watching, thank you for watching the program. And please, everybody, follow David. And we're going to be here. And God bless everybody. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.